How do you even start a video like this? Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2. Argentina were stunned today by Saudi Arabia side that had a lot of self-pride, a lot of determination to go and get a result, and they got it. The first real shock of the World Cup, Saudi Arabia get a win against what were too many tournament favorites. Argentina lost their unbeaten streak since July 2019 that Argentina didn't lose a single game. 36 games unbeaten, one game short of the record that Italy still holds of 37. And that game was this game. That game was this game. That we had to get a result, not only to get the record, that's not what matters here, that's secondary, but to get a strong start to our World Cup campaign, and we didn't get that result. We simply weren't good on the day. We didn't perform up to the expectations we had, to what our winning streak suggested. We weren't the better team on the day. We have to accept that. That Saudi Arabia played their game and they deservedly got a win. So massive props to them. Now, as an Argentina fan, of course, let's talk a bit about this game, about my feelings. I had the idea of making a match review before the game, and that's not gonna change just because the result didn't go our way. I'm not gonna hide just because we didn't win this game that we needed to win, let's say. I'm not the kind of people that supports a team only when they're winning. I'm here to support my country, even in bad times as well. And this is a real bad time. This is really, really bad, because I have memories of 2018 still, that first game against Iceland, 1-1 draw that was shocking as well, where we also didn't perform up to our expectations. And it's happening all over again, you know. So talking a bit about the game, first minutes, Argentina, as you'd expect, pushing for that first goal and got it quite early. I thought that was a penalty. I think the decision was correct. The Saudi defender is holding Paredes around his chest, almost like a hug or a tackle of some sort, and Paredes isn't fighting back. So you can't even say it's a contest. It's just a clear foul, and the penalty is awarded through VAR, and Messi converts it. His 7th World Cup goal all time. And that's when the game started to feel really uncomfortable for Argentina. Saudi Arabia were making a good job pressing high up, not letting us generate play in the midfield. You could tell that we were struggling to really impose our playstyle on Saudi Arabia. We weren't pressing so much. I feel like we lacked intensity in many portions of the game. Like we were defending a result that was in our favor, but not really trying to push that lead even further. We were chilling, basically, expecting that Saudi Arabia wouldn't be able to fight back. And in the first half, that was certainly true. Saudi Arabia didn't get a single chance to equalize. Saudi Arabia got a few balls behind our backline, but wasn't really threatening at all. Saudi Arabia in the first half just was pretty dreadful, honestly. And we didn't feel like we were in any danger, and we had a few chances to make the lead bigger for us in the first half. Of course, we had that first goal ruled off by outside. Messi leaning forward, so his upper half of his body ended up being offside. That was pretty clear, and the goal was obviously disallowed. The second offside goal, I also think it was a correct choice I also think it's offside. Lautaro is also slightly leaning forwards, and half of his shoulder is ahead of the line of the defender. And these are the kind of goals that we knew could be disallowed with this new VAR technology for offsides. Of course, Arsene Wenger and other people in the sport have said that the offside rule should be looked upon, because if you are offside by just half a shoulder or whatever, you are not really taking advantage of the defender. It's an even game for both of you. So if you're not taking advantage, why should that goal be ruled out? But if you start giving the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, then it will just depend on the referee, basically. Whichever, some referees will consider that offside and some won't, and that just isn't fair for the game. So you gotta draw the line somewhere. And in this World Cup, they decided that everything was gonna be offside, and by that rule, yes, the goal is correctly disallowed. It's by half a shoulder, literally, because even if the arm is offside, you cannot score a goal with your arm. So if it was only the arm that was offside, the goal would have counted. The goal wouldn't be disallowed. But you can score a goal with your shoulder. So literally half a shoulder offside, which is obviously really unlucky for Lautaro and for Argentina as a whole. But yeah, correctly disallowed. I agree with the decision. And so we head into halftime with some doubts, because Argentina doesn't look comfortable in the game but is still dominating, and Saudi Arabia isn't really creating any chances that suggest that the game is gonna go wrong. And then in the second part, everything goes wrong. Everything, absolutely everything. First, we lose a ball in the midfield early into the second half. Otamendi is covering the man who's carrying the ball into the box, but then decides to move away to cover a potential pass to another attacker, and lets Christian Romero to deal with the guy who's carrying the ball. I don't remember the names now. Sorry, I didn't really check the game to see who scored the goal. A bit of a misunderstanding in the defense, because Otamendi in every other situation slides and clears that ball no matter what the cost is, and in that position he decided to cover a potential pass and leave Romero to clear that ball, which is maybe the correct play, but Romero didn't quite read the play the same way, and so he's late to the tackle, and the Saudi attacker is allowed to get a wonderful finish. Honestly, it was a pretty hard finish to make. The ball deflects on Romero slightly and makes the bounce a bit weird and harder to catch for Emi Martinez, and it slides onto the second post, and suddenly it's 1-1 to Saudi Arabia out of nowhere, out of a lost ball in the midfield. Those kinds of play we were not used to, honestly. During these last 3 years, we wouldn't lose balls in the midfield like that, and this time it happened, and it caught our backline off guard, clearly. And then the second goal, also another ball lost in the midfield, and it's just a wonderful finish. I don't have the names here, but I'm gonna put him in the editing, because they deserve praise. Like that was a great shot, a pure golazo, a spectacular outside the box. Martinez gets to tap it with the tip of his fingers, but it's not enough to clear it, and it ends up going in. And suddenly it's 2-1 for Saudi Arabia, and Argentina looks stunned. The fans on the stadium, ourselves at home here, and the players as well look stunned that we are somehow losing this game after just conceding 2 shots on target and both going in. A lot of people here are criticizing Emi Martinez for the goals, because it's easy to look at the stat and say, oh, Saudi Arabia had 2 shots the whole game and he didn't stop neither of them, like that was his only job. But to be fair, as I said, those were really hard shots to control, The first one being slightly deflected, that's really hard for the keeper because you are expecting the ball to do certain movement and then it changes as the ball travels to the goal. And the second one is just a golazo. Like there's no way he's stopping that. The fact that he even gets to tap the ball, it's amazing on itself. And from then on, it's pure desperation because we are obviously trailing behind and we need this result. Saudi Arabia is supposedly the weaker opponent in our group, and for the first game is super important. You need to get some kind of result, at least a draw. Losing the first game is horrible for your chances of getting out of the group, and we knew that, so we looked for that equalizer for any matters that we could get. At that point, we weren't trying to play well. We were just trying to get a goal, no matter the cost. And desperation started to appear in the players, clearly. They weren't calm and collected with the ball, and they clearly weren't enjoying the game like other times through this unbeaten streak. We weren't comfortable on the pitch. So yeah, at that point we were just looking for a goal that would bring us back into the game, and then maybe we would start playing well. After we get an equalizer, maybe the momentum shifts back in our favor and we start playing well again. But first we needed to get that goal to know for our mental strength, to know that we can do this still. And no, that goal wouldn't come, no matter how hard we tried. There were a few instances, like I remember the commentators were saying that there was a potential penalty on Otamendi when he taps the ball. He crosses it in from the side of the box, and the Saudi defender lands with his foot above Otamendi's foot after the ball has already gone out. And the commentator suggested that that could be a potential penalty. I honestly don't see it. I think that that's just normal dispute for the ball. Like Otamendi just kicked the ball back inside the box, and the Saudi defender was about to clear it and just clashes with Otamendi. Just happens to step his foot on top of Otamendi's. In other circumstances, maybe that's a penalty. Maybe some referee considers that a penalty. I honestly don't see it. As you can see, I don't think the referee made any bad calls in particular or in any key moments of the game. What I think the referee was lacking was just being more severe with the constant Saudi Arabian fouls. They were constantly doing tactical fouls or soft fouls to stop the play, make the game rough, make the game more muddy in a way. And they were going unpunished for it. Like there were very little yellow cards for the amount of fouls that were committed this game. And this is not an excuse, because obviously this is a game we should have won regardless, no matter how many yellow cards Saudi Arabia has. But I think that it's important for referees to not allow a team to stop play using fouls. That once a team starts fouling over and over, that they start getting punished for it. But at that point, props to Saudi Arabia, they had a game plan, they executed that game plan to perfection, and once they realized that the ref was being complacent and was not giving away yellow cards when they fouled someone, they kept doing it because they knew they could get away with it. And yeah, just props to them, because that's exactly what you gotta do in these kinds of situations. Get the win no matter the cost. When you are from an underdog perspective, you gotta get that win somehow, and if that's the way they had to do it, like, respect to them, honestly. So yeah, Argentina had a few clear chances in the second half. We weren't clinical enough, we weren't comfortable in the game at any point. Saudi Arabia smelled blood in the water and just took their chances and won the game. That's all there is to it. We didn't convert ours, they converted them. Congrats to Saudi Arabia for getting the win. Talking about some of the players, De Paul, awful performance by him. De Paul is one of the players I like the most in this national team. Today he was terrible. That whole midfield fell apart. Papu Gomez, offers a lot in the attack, but defensively he's very lacking, and that's where Lo Celso was heavily missed. Lo Celso was heavily missed this game. That box to box addition he brings to the team, that's something unique of him that we don't really have anywhere else in our squad. That link from midfield to attack that we were clearly lacking to generate play, we missed that. We missed Lo Celso today, clearly. And De Paul didn't step up. Paredes was decent, I guess. Papu Gomez was decent, I guess. Lautaro was good on the day. The chances he got, he tried to finish them, and I don't know, one was offside, the others were close. Messi, decent game, I'd say. Di Maria was always trying to run on the side. He wasn't getting many chances, honestly. I think he should have had more chances, but we weren't passing the ball to him enough. Romero, you could say him and Otamendi had some blame on the first goal or whatever. Tagliafico, I think he had a great game, but collectively, we were very poor. We weren't performing up to the standards that this shirt demands. These 2 stars demand you to perform in a World Cup, and we didn't do it. So, for the key question, have I lost faith? No, I still have faith in this team, because I've seen us overcome adversity time and time again. In 2018, even if results didn't go our way, we still overcame that difficult group. This is the first time we've lost the opening game since Italy in 1990, where we lost the opening game to Cameroon 1-0. And that World Cup, we made it all the way to the final. Spain in 2010, they lost their opening game. They bounced back, and they ended up being World Cup champions. So, no, I still believe that we are the best team in this group. We are better than the teams, than the rest of the teams in this group. I honestly believe that. And you can send me this clip after we lose the 2 remaining games and finish bottom of our group. You can send me this clip and call me an idiot. You can laugh at me now for losing to Saudi Arabia on the opening game. You can laugh at me all you want. I still believe we are the best team in this group, and we should still win our 2 remaining games if we perform up to our expectations. I think the most important thing is how we take this loss. That the mentality of the players in the camp doesn't collapse, that we remain mentally strong, that we keep telling ourselves that we are better, that we believe that we are better, and that we perform in our 2 last remaining games, because faith is still in our hands. If we win our 2 remaining games, we don't depend on any results. We'll be on the round of 16 no matter what. So we need to step up. We're on the dust right now. We are on the floor. We are on the dust, literally. We need to pick ourselves up, brush the dust off our shoulders, whatever, and get back on it, get back on track, win those 2 remaining games and escape this group, because we have the team and we have the mentality to make a deep run into this World Cup. If we believe in ourselves, if we fight for it, we can still make it. So yes, I'm gonna remain faithful until we are fully eliminated. This team, after that Copa America, made me believe once again in the national team, and I'm not gonna lose this faith just because of one-off game. So yeah, Mexico and Poland are about to play, so I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that, because that obviously affects our chances in the group and what we need to do in the next remaining games. But for now, we just gotta win those 2 last games. That's all there is. So yeah, once again, congrats to Saudi Arabia. We didn't perform on the day. They were the better team. They smelled blood on the water and picked their chances and capitalized on it. So congrats to them. And yeah, I'm not gonna hide, and I'm gonna remain faithful. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more World Cup content. I'll be seeing you guys next time.